evaluating applications, how significant of a factor is clinical experience in deciding whether or not to admit a candidate? So I may have just given away the answer here, but we can see here 59% said it's very significant, with a further 37% saying it is somewhat significant. So clearly, clinical experience is a big factor in the application process.
You have heard it is important, and yay, so it is.
So let me ask you this: based on the conversations you've had at the conferences with the medical school deans, what's going on with clinical experience? Why is it so important?
You know, it's largely because what med schools want to know is that you are serious about this. And what clinical experience does, more than anything else, is it takes you outside of the academic environment, you know, the school that you've probably been attending school your whole life. It takes you out of the academic environment and puts you in a clinical environment. Because ultimately, yes, they're trying to see if you can get into med school, but the reason why you're trying to get into med school is to see if you can be a good physician. And physicians, unless you end up teaching at med school or being in academic medicine, physicians don't work in schools. Physicians work in the real world when they are dealing with real people, and they are, you know, seeing some blood and you know, helping solve problems, and that is why this is so important.
And I think the other piece of the puzzle here is we want to make sure that students know what it means to be a doctor. You were alluding to that. The example I always like to give to students is that, believe it or not, being a physician is not what you see on Scrubs and Grey's Anatomy, and in my generation it was MASH. But but there's a different side of things that they really need to understand, and that's what you're getting from that clinical experience. It's not necessarily about having hands on the patient or having your elbows deep in someone's chest. It's about just being there and understanding exactly what the job is really like.